Well guys, a Rise of Iron bomb just infosploded all over the internet thanks to Game Informer magazine, so let's get to it. Unfortunately, I won't have much in terms of visuals since it's a magazine article, so bear with me on that. The Taken King last year was a reinvention of Destiny, gameplay tweaks, new systems, new subclasses, and all of that. Rise of Iron is focused specifically on new content and enhancements to current systems. As you know, Siva has returned, and all of those times in the Iron Banner weren't just for friendly competition, but rather to prepare us for Siva's inevitable return. Rise of Iron explores the backstory of these Iron Lords that we've only heard in name. Lord Saladin is front and center in this expansion, with numerous cutscenes showing interactions with your Guardian and Saladin. We know about Fellwinter Peak, which is the new social space that you end up taking back in a story mission before you can actually use it. There are new vendors and characters like Tyra Karn and Shiro 4, along with the Temple of the Iron Lords, who will play a role in powering up your artifacts. There are also a few secrets in Fellwinter Peak, with locked areas only becoming unlocked during special events. Siva has altered the Fallen, giving them new abilities. Fallen dregs send out a ball of energy towards you upon their death. Vandals can regenerate their health and can go berserk, charging your position. Their weapons operate slightly differently as well. Servitors have been Siva-fied, giving a more angular shape, and even the Fallen Walker has received various changes and improvements. We got some more insight into how the axe will work. Light attacks will regenerate ammo, while more heavy attacks will deplete ammo. When ammo is above a certain threshold, your damage is doubled. How much we'll see of this battle axe is unknown at this time. Speaking of which, the Scorch Cannon also made an appearance in Arc form, so we'll be seeing that return as well. Now let's get to some new stuff. Within the patrol of the Plaguelands is the Archon's Forge, which is apparently dead center in the spectrum of Court of Oryx versus Prison of Elders. You can play with your fire team or other people who wander through the area in wave-based combat, with a session lasting about 5 minutes. Each fight ends in a boss which drops Forge exclusive items. In order to start the event, you'll need a certain item found in the Plaguelands with different tiers of difficulty available, probably in the form of reciprocated, stolen, and antiquated runes, although with different names, obviously. Rise of Iron's opening campaign is a brief 5 missions long and shouldn't take terribly long to complete, but like with the Taken King, you open up a bunch of post-campaign activities upon completion, like an exotic questline, chasing after the new Iron Lord artifacts, which we'll talk about in a minute, and the quest to open up the new strike, the Wretched Eye. Year 1 to Year 2 had a bump up in terms of strikes by making them more not just walking through an area and killing stuff. With Rise of Iron, Bungie is toying with different pathing options to get you from point A to point B. The start and end will be the same, allegedly, but how you get from point A to point B will be a little more varied compared to the current day, which is one straight path right through the strike. Strike-specific loot is getting revamped as well. When completing strikes from the playlist and from the Nightfall, you have a chance to get a skeleton key when you finish. These are used to open a chest called a strike hoard that spawns at the end of every strike, including strikes that you've done individually outside of the playlist. This key will open up the chest at the end of that strike and give you one of the strike uniques from that specific strike. So, for example, you could go into the Wretched Eye, get a key, and then use that key in a different strike and get the strike unique for the strike that you selected, which is pretty cool. Makes it easier to farm for strike uniques. We'll see how that holds up in game. As for the raid, Wrath of the Machine, well, not much was really revealed there, but that's not too much of a surprise. It'll feature a lot of outdoor activity in contrast to some of the past raid encounters. I know some of the raid bosses were outside, but it never really felt like you were outside. The raid will launch on September 23rd, so that's the Friday after the launch on the 20th. They did not specify a time, but I'll go ahead and assume it'll be 10 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time like King's Fall was. Collision is considered a major theme of the raid. Next up, artifacts were discussed at length and how some of them are getting drastic changes. However, since the changes and the discussion here is rather lengthy, I've opted to make another video discussing these changes along with the new abilities we'll see on artifacts. The video will be linked on the screen as soon as it is live, as well as in the description, so be sure to check that out. The Taken King was considered year 2 of Destiny 2.0, big changes and all that stuff, like I mentioned. Year 1 gear did not come with us into year 2, it was stuck at old light values. This will not be happening with Rise of Iron. Everything from the launch of the Taken King will be infusible with the system we know now, nor will the system be getting any changes. It'll still be 100% fusion rate as well. The new light cap will be 385, which will then be raised to 400 when the hard mode raid launches. However, Bungie knows that, yeah, people do still want new stuff, so there will be full armor sets from the Archon's Forge, Iron Banner, Wrath of the Machine, and the Iron Lords, along with vendor sets. That Iron Lord's armor? That's obtained through a record book like Moments of Triumph. Pretty much every activity will contribute to the book's completion. Every time you hit a certain percentage of completion, you'll unlock something like an armor piece, a shader, a ghost shell, an emblem, etc. It's account-wide, so if you unlock something on your Titan, don't worry because stuff like the armor will unlock for all classes. No need to worry about completing everything 3 times on all of your characters. Faction gear will be more visually telling in terms of representation this time around, and you'll be able to get faction-themed ghosts and sparrows to even further show your colors. To further this customization, every class item ever, besides the raid ones, are returning and will now be affected by shaders once again. Thank the Traveler that's happening. And on top of all of that, ornaments are now a new way to customize your gear. I'll explain. Ornaments do not change the function of your items, but instead layer on a new skin that changes its appearance, and these can be changed at any time. They basically sound like skins for your gear. I'll quote the article here. Quote, already imposing raid armor suddenly gains new light and color effects. Cherished exotics have new colors and visual effects. One weapon I saw visually transformed from its normal appearance into an ultra-sleek Golden Age form reminiscent of the popular Sleeper Simulant weapon, end quote. Certain ornament sets are only rewarded through top-tier accomplishments. For example, only Flawless Trials runs will give you the ornaments needed to adjust your Trials armor. Other ornaments are obtained through Radiant Treasures, which are basically Sterling Treasures but for Rise of Iron, including how you end up getting them. I'm hoping raid accomplishments are included here as well, since that's where I'll be living for quite a while. Ornaments are still a little ambiguous though. I know it might seem a little confusing at the moment, but hopefully things will clear up soon. As with every expansion, new exotics are coming. Things like the Gallarhorn and Thorn will be returning in the form of exotic quests. Exotic Warlock boots are coming, perhaps the ones revealed last year that never quite made it to the game. A sidearm, a pulse rifle that sends out a cloud of energy upon a precision kill, and hopefully more. Most notably though is the exotic rifle, the Kvastov 7GOX. The Kvastov, as many of you know, is the first weapon you ever get in the game. The exotic version of the weapon features a multitude of customization options in place of an exotic perk. The exotic perk is the fact that you have all this customization. You can adjust it in terms of how it fires, automatic, burst, or semi-auto, its rate of fire, and more, resulting in over 100 combinations to try out, or so the article claims. The weapon is obtained through a quest line that opens up after the main quest is done. In terms of the live team, we'll see Festival of the Lost return in October with some new things to do. On top of that, the much anticipated return of SRL will be happening in December, although the December event won't be completely focused around Sparrow Racing. Despite that, SRL will be back. On the PvP side of things, Supremacy was introduced as the new game mode for the Crucible. If you know what Kill Confirmed is, it's that. It's Kill Confirmed. If you don't know what Kill Confirmed is, I'll explain. Every time you get a kill, the person that you killed will drop a little engram looking thing on the ground. If you pick that up, that confirms the kill for your team, and that's how you get a point. The first to X amount of points is the winner. Now, if you see a teammate die, they'll also drop an engram thing. You can pick that up too to deny points to the enemy team. So it's Clash with an objective slapped onto it, but it's still mainly about killing people. Iron Banner is also getting a bunch of changes. Feedback indicated that getting to rank 5 took too long, especially if you could only play during the beginning of the week. So the tempered buff is just being completely removed, and in its place is just the fact that it'll be much easier to hit rank 5, encouraging players to hit rank 5 early and then play for more rewards. Bounties are also being reworked to be less frustrating and more rewarding, with completion of bounties rewarding you with items on the spot. Finally, one thing about the Crucible was kept a secret. Quote, Rise of Iron includes the introduction of a long-awaited feature our community has been clamoring for, says Lars Bakken, Crucible design lead. A lot of people have speculated this to be private matches, but obviously we have no clue at this time, and that is just rumor and speculation. Bungie hinted that they'll likely be revealing this secret at Gamescom later this month, around the 16th or the 17th or the 18th, somewhere around there. I will post whatever the announcement is whenever we learn about it. That is your full summary of the article from Game Informer about Rise of Iron. Let's get to the thoughts portion of the video. Yeah, I like this. All of this. I actually did a write-up for a video that was going to come out really soon about my wish list for Rise of Iron. On that list was weapon skins and adjustments to strikes, and ornaments sound almost exactly like weapon skins, and strikes are getting that slight bump up that I think they need. Additional things to enhance our look and to reward people who continue to play the game or show expertise in a certain field is something that I've been advocating for a while. Love it. Supremacy as the new game mode, it sounds fine with me. It's nothing game-breaking, it doesn't sound like there's much of a Destiny spin on it other than the tags being replaced with engrams, but, you know, I liked Kill Confirmed in Call of Duty when I played it, so I'm sure it'll play pretty similarly, assuming it's a one-to-one copy of it. I like the strike keys for getting unique strike rewards. That's probably one of the biggest complaints about strike-specific loot, is that it's too random to get. Now you can go farm keys to your heart's content, get a bunch, and then run the strike that you want to get the strike exclusive item in, and hopefully get a better shot at getting the thing that you actually want. It sounds a little more consistent, but we'll see if that holds up. Yeah, I am liking what I'm seeing and hearing. If private matches end up being a thing, it would be great for the competitive scene. If we get private matches, I don't think they'll be true custom matches though, but that does seem like the next logical step, probably based on how many people actually utilize private matches. We don't want the next voice chat because people wanted that and now nobody uses it, so we'll see what happens. I think this goes without saying, but I am definitely very, very stoked about this now that we're actually hearing some solid information coming out. And I guess I will leave you guys with that. The artifact video should be coming very, very soon after this video goes live. If you enjoyed the video, a positive rating would be greatly appreciated. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.